Hi everyone. Rhythmically, Moon and Sand is essentially based on the following 4-bar phrase, which is occasionally modified either with the final whole note being changed to a dotted half note quarter note combination or with the initial whole note divided into two half notes. Through this sequential passage also, the initial 2 bars of the 4-bar phrase are repeated, and here near the end of the tune the characteristic tied quarter note eighth note rhythmic combination of the phrase's second bar is repeated. Melodically, except for these notes which can be heard as incomplete chromatic upper neighbour notes, collectively all of the tune's notes form an F bebop dominant 7 scale, which in this context can be heard as D natural minor with an added E flat, a note collection which aligns with the work's overall D minor tonality. The tune's melodic contour essentially follows the 4-bar rhythmic phrases and outlines initially a descent from D minor's 5th to 3rd degrees, followed here by a descent from its 4th to 1st degree. Through these bars, the 5th to 3rd descent is again outlined before the melody moves through degrees 2, 1, 7, and 6 to end on the 5th degree in the A section's final bar. The B section's first 10 bars are the same as the A section's and end here on degree 4 before moving through degrees 7, 2 and 1 to conclude the work with a final descent from 5 to 1. Through the sequence a compound melody is used, which along with the overall descent in these bars from degrees 2 to 6 includes another line moving from degrees 5 to 3. Moon and Sand's melody then is essentially diatonic and its melodic contour is largely harmonized by chords forming incomplete and complete 2-5-1 progressions. For example, if we represent the root movement of the complete progression on a single stave using idealized voice leading, we see that except for the initial bars of the A and B sections and the tune's concluding bars, harmonically the chord progression also essentially follows an overall descent, with the root movement outlining a regular ascending and descending pattern. The progression also essentially follows the 4-bar phrases, with the phrase's initial melody notes either sounding a 5th or 9th above the root notes of the underlying chords. The only exception is the melody note of this E-flat major 7 chord, which for reasons I'll explain soon sounds a 3rd above. The chords which conclude the 4-bar phrases also follow a fairly standard pattern, sounding either a 5th or octave above the root notes of the underlying chords, with the rhythmically altered bars here sounding both an octave and 5th, and here a 9th and octave above the chord's root notes. Between these chords, a change of mode occurs, with the major or dominant chords moving to either minor or half diminished 7th chords. To effect this change, either the same root note is repeated or the initial chord's root note ascends by a semitone. The change of mode and semitone ascent of these chords is probably one of the factors for the E-flat major 7 chord sounding a 3rd with the G. Here the adjustment of these chords means this A-flat major must be preceded by a chord which can successfully harmonize the G note and create a convincing progression with A-flat. If, for example, the G note was harmonized as with the other beginning chords of these phrases, with chords whose root notes sound either a 5th or 9th below, a C or F chord results, options which here do not produce satisfactory progressions. Also, if we hear these chords as a 4-5-1 progression in E-flat major, with the B-flat 7 chord beginning the tune's overall harmonic descent, the E-flat major chord is used to complete the progression. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.